A national boycott exposes the artificial dyes and preservatives in cereals, leading to a 54% drop in sales for Fruit Loops. The same product is reformulated for European markets, removing artificial dyes, yet U.S. consumers receive a cheaper, chemical-laden version. European food safety laws require cigarette-style warning labels on products containing artificial dyes, informing consumers of potential risks such as hyperactivity in children. U.S. regulations allow these additives without disclosure, keeping consumers unaware of their potential effects. Highly processed cereals like Fruit Loops remain a staple in U.S. school breakfast programs. Brightly colored, sugar-heavy cereals dominate the offerings in cafeterias, ensuring that children develop long-term brand loyalty. Scientific studies confirm links between artificial dyes and increased hyperactivity in children. Parents who remove artificial dyes from their children's diets report significant behavioral improvements. European food regulations prioritize consumer awareness, while U.S. policies continue to permit undisclosed chemical additives in children's food. A study on yellow 6 dye reveals that it turns the skin of test mice transparent, raising concerns about its potential effects on humans. Despite this, the dye remains widely used in snacks like Cheetos and Doritos. Many artificial food colorings are derived from petroleum, the same industry that produces gasoline. Products in the U.S. rely on synthetic dyes, while European markets receive naturally colored alternatives. Differences in regulatory policies dictate ingredient quality, with companies adjusting formulations based on regional restrictions. In the 1980s, major tobacco companies such as R.J. Reynolds and Philip Morris acquire food brands, applying addiction research to processed foods. The same psychological strategies used to make cigarettes addictive, enhancing flavors, triggering cravings, and ensuring long-term consumption, are integrated into snack foods and cereals. The Bliss Point formula is developed, optimizing the ratio of sugar, salt, and fat to make processed foods nearly impossible to stop eating. This leads to excessive consumption, reinforcing unhealthy eating habits. The original U.S. food pyramid is shaped by corporate interests rather than independent nutrition science. Government-hired nutritionists warn of an impending obesity crisis, but their concerns are ignored. Subsidies make corn syrup a cheap alternative to natural sugar, fueling the mass production of calorie-dense processed foods. Multinational food companies formulate products differently based on government regulations. European food agencies enforce strict bans on artificial additives, while the U.S. continues to allow them in widely consumed products. High-fructose corn syrup replaces natural sugar in American sodas due to government subsidies, making it a cost-effective ingredient despite potential health risks. In Mexico, Coca-Cola contains real sugar, whereas in the U.S., it relies on genetically modified corn syrup. Growing consumer awareness forces major food brands to adjust formulations. Companies like Chick-fil-A, Panera, and Chipotle respond to consumer pressure by removing artificial ingredients from their menus. The clean eating movement gains momentum as consumers prioritize products with fewer additives. Farmers markets and organic grocers experience rising demand, reflecting a shift toward whole, minimally processed foods. Simplifying diets becomes a key strategy for reducing exposure to synthetic additives. Consumers embrace the farmers market rule, choosing real foods over ultra-processed alternatives. Those eliminating artificial dyes report noticeable health improvements, reinforcing the movement toward natural ingredients. Public activism increases pressure on food companies to disclose ingredients and eliminate harmful additives. Petitions, bans, and legislative actions push for greater food transparency. Sales trends indicate growing consumer interest in clean label products, forcing corporations to reassess their product lines. The food industry listens when financial losses outweigh resistance to change. Future regulatory decisions will determine whether the U.S. aligns with stricter international food safety standards or continues prioritizing industry-driven policies. The food industry relies on consumer ignorance to maintain profits. Transparency and education empower individuals to make informed dietary choices. Every food purchase sends a message, influencing market demand and corporate decision-making. The transformation of the food industry continues, shaped by those who demand better. The final question remains: would you rather eat something made in a lab or something made by nature?